Hey everyone, Matt here, back for your daily stimulus check update as of Tuesday, November 24th. Let's get right into it. My videos do pertain to everybody, including Social Security, SSI, VA, and RRB recipients, as well as low income and no income. But hey, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for checking me out. Please be sure you're subscribed by hitting that button down below. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your daily advocate and come back on a daily basis to keep you updated with everything going on pertaining to Social Security, stimulus checks, SNAP, SSI, you name it. I'm here as your daily advocate. So thank you so much for your continued support. I truly appreciate it. So let's get right into what we have going on as of now. But yes, I will just make it very clear. Congress is on recess this week. However, the main players that are talking about the stimulus negotiations and talking about stimulus are still in negotiations and talking. So, although the majority of Congress is out on recess, the main people who are negotiating this out are still in contact and making statements. So, this is actually good because they can't waste another week as they've already wasted so many. But either way, Nancy Pelosi continues to face more pressure from her Democratic colleagues to pass stimulus relief as quickly as possible. At the same time, Joe Biden has been out stressing the importance of passing stimulus relief before the end of December. So I think many of us can agree it's very important that they need to pass something in the last about 5 weeks or so that we have of this year. Otherwise, if it's not, we could be sitting for a lot longer, potentially another month and a half or so before we could see any type of relief. Well, that could be significantly dangerous in many different situations, as there is multiple fiscal cliffs coming at the end of this year, which I've talked about in other videos. Also, at the same time, House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer was out and said that he is encouraging the leaders of both parties to come together to offer stimulus relief amid a worsening landscape. So again, another major player in all of this coming together, encouraging the leaders of both parties to come together and actually compromise on a package and get something done as soon as possible. It's interesting how many major players or how many influential people are actually coming out right now and making statements. It's actually pretty significant in my opinion, I would say. At the same time, Congressman Durbin was out encouraging Nancy Pelosi, get something done, do something significant now that we can agree upon and that we can achieve. Again, another player, another big name coming out encouraging the leaders. Remember, when I refer to the leaders, I'm referring to Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, and probably Steve Mnuchin and Mark Meadows, as they would probably be helping out Mitch McConnell at the same time. So let's just back up and remember where we are with this stimulus negotiation. So Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer on the Democratic side are sitting at that $2.2 trillion price tag, and they're actually calling that their starting point. Now, they're calling that their starting point. At the same time, Mitch McConnell on the Republican side, he's also negotiating this out with Steve Mnuchin as well as Mark Meadows. So the three of these guys, they want to sit at that $500 billion mark. Well, that's where Mitch McConnell is anyway. They're sitting at this $500 billion mark, and they're willing to move up a little bit from there. But you can notice the significant difference in price tags that we have. However, we're having representatives and we're having congressional people from both sides come together essentially saying, people on the Democratic side saying, we don't need to do $2.2 trillion, we can certainly come down from there. Those are the Democrats. Now at the same time, we have Republicans saying we certainly need to go bigger than 500 billion, that is. So it's interesting to see, like, beside the leaders, we have these other congressional representatives and people in Congress coming out basically saying, representing their parties saying, yes, we can certainly come together on this. Republicans say they can move up, while Democrats are suggesting they can certainly move down. So I don't know. That seems to me like a recipe for a deal. That's what we need, a deal, some kind of deal. At the same time, we have Chris Coons out of Delaware, who is saying that he thinks Mitch McConnell's proposal of $500 billion is not adequate. However, he's also encouraging Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to focus on the contents of the stimulus package versus the actual price tag. And I think so many of us can really agree with that. And I think we get caught up too much with the price tag. Now, I think the contents of the package is significantly more important than the absolute price tag. I mean, many of us, yes, you could have a $5 trillion price tag, but if it didn't offer support for the people, honestly, who really cares, right? It's not really doing anything. However, at the same time, if we had a $1 trillion package that was basically saying, hey, we're going to spend $1 trillion by sending out 3 stimulus checks, I think all of us would be like, heck yeah, we'll take the one with $1 trillion price tag with 3 stimulus checks versus $5 trillion that does nothing for us. So of course, those are just hypothetical examples, but just my point is, I kind of agree with this Chris Coons. He's saying focus on the contents versus the actual price tag. At the same time, we have a lot of other influential people coming out at the same time, making statements, encouraging all of these people to come together. And so, for example, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, I've mentioned him before. He's a guy that when he speaks, everybody listens. Again, he was out once again reiterating that we need additional stimulus. The need is greater than ever. This is the greatest need we've had in a long, long time. He's coming out among so many people in Congress, the Senate, the House of Representatives are mentioning that we need this stimulus preferably before the end of the year. So it's certainly going to be interesting to see how this whole thing shakes out over the coming days and weeks for sure. At the same time, yesterday, this is also very interesting. Yesterday in that video, I talked about 125 economists who wrote a letter basically hammering home the idea that we need stimulus, we need it now, and we need it right away. We cannot delay any longer amid the landscape that is literally worsening on a daily basis. Which actually brings me to my next point, which is COVID cases, just under 170,000 yesterday. Now we can probably anticipate that number is going to continue to rise, especially throughout the week, and unfortunately probably about a week out from, Thanksgiving and this coming weekend, we're probably going to see some massive, massive surges as people are going to be getting together with their families for the holidays, as all of us want to do. So either way, we'll continue watching all this. It's great. I like to see that all of these people continue to talk and make statements and, that they're still active somewhat talking about all this, even though Congress is on recess right now. So that's okay. The majority of them can go on recess and go and do whatever they want. But as long as the main players in the negotiations are still out, conducting interviews, making statements, at least they're thinking about stimulus. That's what matters. So either way, I'll continue watching everything for you. I'll keep you updated on a daily basis. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your daily advocate, and it's my commitment to you. I'll be back every single day with the latest information. Please stay safe, enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again soon. Thanks, everybody.
You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You can't wait to see me now, lately you've been feeling down. You can't wait to see me now.